Hello everyone watching at home. Today I have the superstar joining me on my show. I'm calling it a show now. It wasn't a show for the first 6 interviews, but now there's a steady thing coming on. I've got a guest. Today I have Aimee Moore. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
That's amazing. See, when I started this show, I thought to myself, I'm going to call this show the Tom Brannan Experience because it became a name this is a funny story to everyone listening at home. One day I was at school a couple of years ago and I was like, I want to be in that concert. So I got my friends and I was like, let's sing Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake. Great song. And they were like, what should we call our group? And I was like, the Tom Brannan Experience. And it stuck. And then every year I've made a comeback doing the Tom Brannan Experience. And then I got a radio show and I got the Tom Brannan Experience. So maybe that'll be the name of the show.
Fantastic. I'm on board.
Anyways, enough of me. Time to talk about our superstar guest. You were most recently in The Wedding Singer.
Yes,
How'd that come
I
about?
was. So The Wedding Singer was at Wembley, the Troubadour Theatre. So we came in just after Fame. And I auditioned for Nick Winston, who is an amazing director and fantastic choreographer. He put on Wedding Singer. They toured it before a couple of years back and got a lot of the cast back together, and I joined fresh, and it was a fantastic show with Kevin Clifton, who I've not worked with before, but he was such a lovely guy to work with. And yeah, we started the beginning of 2020 and finished on the 1st of March.
So did you finish, was that a planned finish or was it a...
Yeah, it was only on for a short amount of time, but actually it's been very strange because I finished on the 1st of March and it was basically when the lockdown started coming about. So it's been very bizarre.
You're quite fortunate then that it wasn't, because a lot of people have been told halfway through their run that they're being cancelled, and I can't imagine how it must feel.
Yeah, so I've been so thankful that job came about and that I was given the opportunity to work just at the beginning of this year, and luckily saved a bit of money.
So where did you say The Wedding Singer was performing? Was it on tour, did you say?
It was in Wembley at the Troubadour Theatre.
Oh, Troubadour Theatre. Sorry, I was listening.
That's all right.
So, was that a good venue for you? Have you worked there before?
I haven't worked there before, but I was quite lucky because my uncle lives in around the area. I was born in Watford, so quite near to Wembley, so I was able to stay with him, and also just fantastic because that's where they film X Factor. So when you're going backstage, I just kept telling myself that it was really fantastic that I was standing where Beyonce had stood and all the different guests that have been on X Factor. But it's a strange venue because the auditorium is raised. So when you look out, it's very different to a standard auditorium.
I think that if I was performing there, I couldn't help myself from, as my castmates were walking past going, you made it through to the next round. Or,
Yes!
Sorry, you're going home.
I felt like I was on X Factor.
So, Wedding Singer was the most recent. And before that, you did Cats, right?
Yes. So I was lucky enough to be cast in the role of Rumpelteazer, which is the fun cat. She's a bit cheeky, and I was included in the Kilworth cast Cats. So it was the first time that Cats had ever been reimagined, which was such an amazing experience to be a part of. I loved Cats when I was growing up, and just to be able to reimagine the show was fantastic. Again, with Nick Winston, who is just a genius. And yeah, it was an open air theatre, so that's something that I've never done before. Very tough in the rainy, cold days, and also the blinding heat. But we made it through, and it was a wonderful experience.
I think the most important question to ask you here is, did you like the movie Cats?
I've actually not seen it. awful of me. I have a few friends in it as well, so I actually really should see it. But yeah, I haven't seen it.
Because the reviews are crazy about them, aren't they? People are like it's terrible, and some people are like it's great, and I was conflicted because I went into cinema watching it thinking this is going to be terrible. I actually quite liked it. But
Yeah, I think people are quite quick to judge things and put a negative on something. I know that a lot of the people that were involved in it, it was hard work, and they were in working so many hours and dressing up in all the dots and stuff. My friend Neve Morgan, she plays Mamputiza actually in the film, and she is such an inspirational person because she's been through so much in her life. And yeah, I should really see it to watch her performance.
sounds like you've got something to do in the lockdown then.
I know, exactly. I've got the time now, so I've not got an excuse.
So, well, yeah, just checking on my arrow points too. I have a big arrow on my notes. It's like, quick, move to that place. So, Saturday Night Fever is where I'm going to next.
Yes.
Jumping quickly into Saturday Night Fever. That you worked in with a lot of people. I don't know much about it, except I know that Rich Windsor was in it. And I love him. He's amazing. So,
Yeah, Rich was played the male lead, so Tony Manero, and I understudied the leading lady as well. So I actually got to go on stage with him one time when the lead was off, and he's really fun to work with. Really, really strong actor. Like, it was so much fun to bounce dialogue off of, and just very hardworking. But yeah, it was a really good cast. They did it slightly different to the Arlene Phillips version. So we had the Bee Gees on the stage, and then we would dance around, and yeah, really fun. We did a UK tour of it, so I got to go to many different places, see the UK, which is always lovely. And yeah.
I think the most important question about any touring show is what was your favourite place to be, like performing it?
Oh, I love Glasgow. Every time we go to Glasgow, it's like really rowdy and just the best audience. And it's a really lovely theatre, the King's Theatre. I just find it a really gorgeous venue. What other? I really loved going to places like Llandudno because they're just filled with people who are so excited to see the productions that tour around there. And also during the days you can go and explore that wonderful, like different wonderful locations. So
Wales.
yeah, Wales is just gorgeous.
Wales is amazing. Wales is outside my window.
Yay.
So, how did you get the part of Saturday Night Fever? Were you approached or were you auditioning?
Yeah, it was actually a funny situation. I missed the initial audition round for Stephanie because I was really ill at the time, and I missed it. And then a couple of weeks later, they were still trying to find the cover, and I luckily got called in last minute. Had an audition, a dance round, and then they sent me to Bill Kenwright's office where I sung for him, and he said, "Do you want the job? We start Monday." And this was Friday. I was like, "Yeah." So it was all a bit of a quick audition process, but the best cast. I mean, the cast were fantastic. My boyfriend was also a part of it, so I got to meet my boyfriend on that job, and it will always just stay very close to my heart.
Exciting. So, you said you played the character of Stephanie. What was it like playing that character?
So I got to go on in Canterbury, and it was so last minute. I got the phone call literally just as we were going into warm up, just before, and they said, "Oh, you're going to be on as the leading lady today." And I I don't even know what happened. I think I sat down in the mud at that point because I had a bit of a cough as well. But it was so exciting. The whole company kind of was a massive support for me. and it all just went in a bit of a blur. My mum, my dad, and my nan got the last 3 seats in the entire theatre because I phoned them and said, "Mum, Dad, I'm on, like, come up to Canterbury," and they live in Eastbourne. So they drove up and got to see me on, and yeah, my nan was very proud. But it was fun. It just kind of goes past you, really. Like, you don't feel like you're like it's actually happening, because you're just so focused on getting the lines out and being in the right place at the right time and in the right costume, and because it's not your normal track, you're just stressing. But I did really enjoy it, and she's such a fun character because she's really ballsy. She knows what she wants, and she's just a fun lass.
So, did you feel like you'd brought anything new to that character on the night that you were playing her?
Yeah, I know. Me and Kate Parr played her on our tour, and she was fantastic. I think, I mean, we naturally, everyone brings something different when they go on as an understudy, and so yeah, I guess we had slight differences. Also, I'm brunette; she's blonde. but but yeah, it's very strange because everyone wants you to do so well, and there's a lot of pressure involved. But I kind of thrive off that at the same time, and also take my hats off to people that swing shows. So, and they've got like 15 different tracks that they're looking at. I mean, that must just be the hardest thing ever. So, hats off to the swings of the world.
These swings out there. If you want to be interviewed about your really hard job, hit me up.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
You were also, before Saturday Night Fever, you were in Hairspray.
Yeah, Hairspray
How
is
was
one of my
that feel?
faves. So I played the role of Amber Von Tussle. She is, I mean, as most of everyone probably knows, she's the nasty, bitchy girl, which was fantastic. I've never played an evil kind of nasty character. I mean, she's not evil, but I got a lot of booze, and her script is very cutting. And yeah, fantastic cast. I got to work with Drew McConey, who is incredible, and Paul Kerrison directed it. We went on a UK tour, and it was my first experience of touring, actually, because I'd just come back from working in Australia, and I wasn't used to getting digs and sorting out different venues. It was a bit of a whirlwind for me at the time, but it was fun. It was amazing to yeah, be one of the leads in one of my favourite shows.
So Hairspray is coming back to the West End, isn't it? I think in September.
Yes, yeah.
With a super exciting cast. I'm trying to find it now. It's on my phone somewhere. But I know there's people like Michael Ball and Marisha Wallace. So that should be
There is, yeah. It'll be fantastic.
an amazing cast. I saw Marisha when she was in Waitress. She was the nicest ever. I saw her at the stage door afterwards. She's such an amazing Becky. It's just,
Yeah.
so anyone that hasn't seen Hairspray and wants to go see it, September 2020, put it in your diary. It's coming back to the West End. So, did you start off? You said after you finished studying, like what you were studying, you started off on cruises.
Yeah, so after I finished my 3-year training in Lane, I applied for a cruise ship that was P&O Australia. The company's called Grey Boy, and they do cruising in Australia. So I worked out there for 2 contracts, so almost 2 years basically of my life. I went out there and lived on a little tin can, and I was employed as a singer-dancer. So I got to do all the different shows that P&O create. I actually got to be a part of an inaugural cast, which was awesome, because we launched a new ship, and we were all out in Australian news. And yeah, it was a fun experience, but also I think I learned a lot from going from Lane. I'm glad that I had that time to kind of grow a little bit and work on my strengths before coming back to London, because I think as a graduate you kind of are released into the world, and it's like a deer in headlights. You go into these audition rooms and it's just petrifying. And I remember being so scared as a young graduate that actually the best thing I did was go all the way to Australia, the other side of the planet, and just work on myself and just relearn to love musical theatre and singing and performing in general.
Speaking about loving musical theatre, it's hard at the moment. It must be hard for you because you were midway through auditioning for new shows when this lockdown just hit us.
Yeah, exactly. I actually just moved to London as well at the beginning of this year. Just as I was finishing the Wedding Singer contract, I moved to Greenwich, and I was so excited for my London life to finally get sorted. I really enjoy audition processes, so I know that's a bit weird, but I just think that it's such an amazing way to see people that are in the industry and to work on yourself and learn all this different material. So I really love getting back stuck into like auditions. And obviously I finished Wedding Singer on the 1st of March, and then we realised that coronavirus was taking over. And I was midway through auditioning for a couple of shows that I was looking forward to. I mean, hopefully, you never know, fingers crossed, to be a part of. And I'm still in the process. Now we're having to do self-tapes and things like that. So, which is horrendous. I find self-taping one of the hardest things to do because you're so self-critical. When you're in an audition room, you can just go for it, and the panel get more of a vibe of your personality, whereas when you're just facing a laptop quite like this you can't get as much across, and I find that I look at myself back and I'm very critical, so it takes me a good day to do at least one self-tape.
Well, I think that it's always sort of best to be critical of yourself though, so
exactly, and I do learn a lot from it, and it's a good way to then see what works and what doesn't work. But yeah, hopefully it's not a way of life for too long.
Hopefully not. So this is one of my favourite parts of the interview. It's where I ask some fun and random questions to you.
Okie dokie.
So this one I prepared you for at the start of the interview because everyone needs to be prepared for this because it's a hard choice. But if you could be in any musical, as any character, no gender roles or anything, full costume, full lights, full set, one night only, West End or Broadway or anything you want, what would it be and why?
So I feel like I have a lot of answers for this, but I'm just going to be harsh with myself and just say one. Because you put through the spanner in about the gender specific, I feel like I would rather go for a male lead. I know that's weird, but I would love to play Galileo in We Will Rock You, because he gets the best show ever. He hardly ever goes off stage. He gets the best songs. I'm a massive Freddie Mercury fan, and yeah, you just get to be a rock god for 2 hours.
Amazing choice. Now it's time for the secret questions. I don't tell anyone about, unless they've watched the interview, they won't know what these 3 questions are. I'll start with the first one, which is if you had to pick between giving up singing forever or being a badly singing sheep, which one would you pick?
Okay. Well, I actually love sheep. Lambs are my favourite animal. But I don't think I could. That's such a hard choice because I don't think I could live without singing. But then sheeps can't give hugs. So I feel like I would have to give up my voice like Ariel and be mute. I need hugs in my life. What can I say?
Well, sheep can get hugs.
They can, but they can't give them, and I love to give a hug.
Good
I think
choice.
maybe it's because I miss hugs quite a lot at the moment.
So I should ask you again after the lockdown's lifted.
Yeah, exactly.
Time for question number 2. If you could be any Disney princess, which one would you be and why?
Ooh, Disney princess. Probably, oh gosh. I do love Rapunzel in Tangled. I feel like she's quite fun and adventurous, and I feel like Rapunzel now. I'm kind of, when will my life begin feels like the song of everyone at the moment.
So you'd be Rapunzel.
Rapunzel from Tangled.
But the real question is, have you got a good frying pan to use?
Somewhere.
The final secret question is a really hard one. I don't think I can answer this one. But it is, if you had to pick between only being able to listen to one original cast recording for the rest of your life, but you can listen to it over and over again, or any cast recording, but you can only ever listen to it once in your whole life, what would you pick?
Oh, maybe I think the second one, because I don't like it when it's too repetitive. I have to change it up all the time. My Spotify playlists are very random, but if I have it repeated too much, then I go off it.
So you pick the second one. Good choice. I think probably that's what I do as well. But it would be quite sad now. I could never go back to a musical after I'd heard it, like the original cast recording.
It would be. What is this without music? What is the world without music?
Well, at least the one good thing would be that every year there'd be at least one new soundtrack listened to. That's
Yeah,
kind of the win.
yeah.
Okay, well, it's coming to the end of our interview, which is really sad because it's been quite talking to you.
I know. It's been lovely.
So,
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you for coming on. It's been amazing. To everyone watching at home, this interview is for acting for others because it's very important right now. There are people, not going to name names, that were halfway through the audition process and then they got cut off and told to stay at home. That's had that happen then. I think you've had it, haven't you?
I've had it.
So I think it's really important that you donate as much or as little as you can. There is a link in the description. It's great to have a YouTube channel now because I can say it like this. There is a link in the description. Look below. You'll find it down there. And donate as much or as little as you can because it all helps. And make sure you also subscribe to this channel and also follow Aimee on Instagram and everything. What's your handle, whatever it's called?
My Instagram is at Aimee, AIMEE, Moore, MOORE 10. Don't ask me why it's 10. I think I just had to put a number and I chose 10.
Cool. So everyone follow Aimee on social media. And thank you so much for tuning in to another one of these videos. If this is the first time you find these videos, look, there's so much more. They're so amazing. I've interviewed some super awesome people, yourself included, Aimee. You're all fantastic. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you for having me.
No worries. Oh, I forgot there's one question I had to ask. What is your advice to everyone at home right now?
Oh, that's a nice question. My advice to everyone right now is obviously stay safe, stay strong, keep smiling, and don't feel pressured to use this time as a productive time where you have to learn a new skill, bake banana bread, learn a language and all this kind of stuff. I know there's a lot of pressure with social media at the moment, and I've even found it with myself. There's a lot of fitness videos and yoga videos, and everyone kind of is joining on, which is a fantastic thing to do right now. but also it's okay just to be yourself and to get through this. It's a very tough time for everyone. And I think that give yourself credit, you know, every day you get up, you're surviving something, and that's amazing. So keep doing what you're doing, and communication is key. Make sure you're communicating with your family and loved ones.
Amazing. You heard some more from another one of our superstars. Thank you. Thank you everyone at home for watching, and please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. But most importantly, I don't care if you like, I don't care if you comment or subscribe, as long as you donate, because that's the important part of all this. This isn't for views or for likes, it's to make money for people that need it. So please donate. And remember, the secret to a